The quiet ruin, when silence becomes strategy. Sometimes betrayal doesn't erupt in shouts or slammed doors. It arrives quietly, wearing a smile. It shows up in a 3-line message. In names that don't belong. In a face that once lay beside you in the dark but now stares from a phone screen, lit by neon and deceit. It doesn't need drama. No threats. No pleading. Because when your past is rewritten behind your back, there's no reason to scream in return. Silence is more effective. More surgical. Louder than vengeance and sharper than rage. He didn't raise his voice or clench his fists. He didn't spiral into chaos. While others fought to salvage a collapsing illusion, he chose a different route. Quiet, methodical destruction. Everything was precise. Everything was legal. Everything was final. Those who mistook his calm for passivity soon realized their mistake. While they clung to fantasies, he was redrawing the borders of access. Bank accounts, locks, reputations. He wasn't broken. He was already rebuilding. Hello, friend. I'm glad you're here. Asterisk. If you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe and share this video. It really helps more than you know. Also, let me know where you're watching from. I read every comment. Now let's begin. Started at 3:03 a.m. My phone buzzed on the nightstand. Half awake, I reached over expecting a weather alert or spam. Instead, I saw Isabel's name glowing across the screen. She was in Las Vegas for Lena's bachelorette weekend. 5 women, overpriced suite, champagne everywhere. A blur of spa days, rooftop lounges and faux celebrity selfies. I wasn't supposed to hear from her until Sunday. But the preview chilled me. Don't wait up. Opened it. Asterisk just married Dylan. Been seeing him for almost a year. You made it easy. Deadbeat life, boring husband. Enjoy the house, loser. I'm gone. Asterisk. Attached. A blurry photo of Isabel and Dylan Hale, her co-worker. The one I never liked. Standing outside a cheap Vegas chapel under flickering lights. Holding up a marriage license like it was a lottery ticket. I stared at the screen. No tears. No anger. Just clarity. Cold and absolute. Typed one word. Thanks. And then I got to work. Isabel had never cared for the details. Finances bored her. Paperwork confused her. Passwords annoyed her. That was always my role. Managing what she pretended to own. By 3:20 a.m., I had revoked her access to every shared card. Changed every password, banking, utilities, even her Apple ID. Uber. Amazon. Cancelled. Streaming services. Locked out. By 4:10 I was on the phone with an emergency locksmith. Paid extra for immediate service. By 5 o'clock the locks were changed. New garage code programmed. I hadn't touched her things yet. That would come later. Orderly, emotionless. Not out of spite. Out of closure. At 5:45 a.m., I emailed her company's HR department. Subject. Concerning Dylan Hale's conduct. Attached one photo. No explanation required. Their corporate policy was clear. No romantic relationships between co-workers in the same chain of command. Dylan was her direct superior. As sunlight crept across the ceiling, I lay back on the bed we once shared and thought about the irony of it all. Fake Elvis. Cheap ring. A new husband who didn't even know what joint liability meant. 7:00 a.m. Her first call. Ignored. 7:05, a second. Then a third. Texts followed. Why isn't my card working? Adrian, what's going on? Asterisk, call me. Oh. Asterisk. I didn't. By 8:30 I'd finalized the account transfers. What she believed was a joint savings was legally in my name alone. I'd kept that account separate on purpose years ago, in anticipation of something exactly like this. I wasn't vindictive. I was prepared. Next came the car. The lease. My name. I disabled remote access. Then flagged the vehicle for repossession. If she wanted to drive away from her new marriage, she'd have to walk first. By 9 o'clock, my lawyer Ethan Monroe was already drafting the divorce paperwork. She went through with it. Married him last night. You good. Better than ever. He sent over a copy of the postnup she signed years ago. At the time she had laughed at it, saw it as a formality. Joke. Now it was her choke collar. By noon security cameras were installed. Every entry point, every angle. Synced to my phone. I spent lunch scrolling through feeds as if I were checking the weather. She had made her move. Now it was my turn to hold the pen. The next morning brought the cops. A knock at the door. Firm, deliberate. I opened it to two officers. The older one had seen too much in his life. The younger looked like he still played video games at the station. You, Adrian Lang. I am. They said Isabel called. Claimed I had locked her out, taken her car, stolen her access to mutual property. I didn't argue. I handed them my phone. They read the message. Looked at the photo. Scanned the timestamps. The older officer arched an eyebrow at the words asterisk. Just married Dylan. Asterisk. I calmly walked them through everything. Ownership, legal documents, digital trail. I wasn't defensive. I was surgical. Where's she staying now? One asked. Wherever newlyweds stay, I suppose. They glanced at each other. Then back at me. You haven't touched her things. They're still inside. I'll pack them myself. She can pick them up from the garage. They nodded. There was nothing left to say. By 3 p.m. she returned. Isabel, Dylan, and another woman. Tired eyes. Smudged makeup. Same clothes from the Vegas photo. Flip-flops flapping against the concrete. Dylan looked like he already regretted everything. His shoulders sagged like he knew he'd married a hurricane. The third woman was Isabel's sister, Maya. She had the same jawline but with more edge. And less patience. I stepped outside, closing the door behind me. You've made your point, Isabel snapped. You can't just lock me out of my own life. You didn't just cheat, Isabel. You married someone else. That's a legal severance. Maya stepped forward, angry. This is emotional abuse. She made a mistake. I turned to Dylan. You have one job. Load the boxes. Then leave. He didn't speak. Just nodded quietly. The garage door opened to neat rows of labeled boxes. Low. Toiletries. Book. Everything accounted for. Around 4 o'clock, a transaction pinged my phone. U-Haul. Declined. She tried using the card I cancelled. Dylan ended up paying. As they drove away, I pressed the garage button. Watched the door lower with finality. That was just the beginning. 3 days later, Isabel went on a digital offensive. Teary Instagram stories. Cryptic Facebook post. Passive-aggressive captions. Her sister reposted everything. Asterisk. Some scars don't show until you leave the one who gave them to you. Asterisk. Asterisk. You never know what happens behind closed doors. Asterisk. Some friends reached out cautiously. Testing the waters. Unsure who was the villain. I said nothing. Instead I uploaded a file. Screenshots. Synced messages she forgot were still linked to the cloud. Old laptop. New evidence. Asterisk. He's so stupid he didn't notice I bought the dress with his card. Asterisk. Asterisk. I'll say he was cold. No one questions that. Asterisk. Asterisk. The yoga retreat story still works. Men are idiots. Asterisk. I didn't post them publicly. I sent them privately. To HR, to Maya, to close friends, even to her mother. The silence was deafening. Maya deleted every post by midnight. Isabel's accounts went private the next day. Some friends messaged me with guilt. Asterisk. Didn't know she was playing everyone. Asterisk. And then came the fallout. HR confirmed both Dylan and Isabel were terminated. Fraternization. Code violations. Misuse of expense reports. That night she tried sneaking into the backyard. The cameras caught her screaming at the gate. I sent the footage to Ethan. You're bulletproof, he replied. Sit tight. Final act, the courtroom. No theatrics, just cold air and judgment. Isabel walked in dressed like innocence. Dylan was absent, rumored to be hiding in Arizona. Her lawyer threw around buzzwords: manipulation, gaslighting, psychological control. The judge didn't blink. Is this the same man she admits to having an affair with for 11 months prior to their wedding? She asked deadpan. Yes, her lawyer admitted, crumbling. The judge flipped to the evidence. Asterisk, can't wait to see his dumb face when I drain him dry. Asterisk. Isabel went pale. 30 minutes later it was over. The postnup held. She walked away with nothing but her clothes and her shame. I walked away with my dignity and peace. And that, my friend, is how quiet men win. Not with noise. Not with revenge. With preparation. With calm. With the understanding that sometimes silence is the deadliest answer of all.